What's up, guys? Welcome back to my tiny fish room. Today we're going to have an episode looking back at the full 900-gallon build, and the reason why we're taking a minute to look back is because hopefully soon we can get on to building something new for our fish room. But also, my back is messed up again. I'm currently laid up. If you can't tell, I'm like heavily sedated on some medicine, and I can't currently walk very well. My left leg is just basically not working. So we're gonna see the doctor on Monday. Hopefully we don't have to have another surgery. If we do, we will. Whatever, we'll get it fixed. But for right now, because I can't do much other than sit on my behind, let's look back at everything we did on the 900-gallon tank all the way to present day. Let's get right into today's video. Wha-bam. So right here was like the initiation of my shed becoming something more, right? It's already falling apart, and I figured I might as well use it for something cool. And because I wanted to start a YouTube channel, I thought, let's build a big crazy fish tank. I love my fish. I wanted to see them get as big as they could. And this was step one, getting this thing cleaned out, because it was an absolute freaking mess.
Okay, so here's the game plan. This is the tiny shed in my backyard that doesn't get used for anything. It is a useless pile of wood at the moment. Full of more useless crap, might I add. So, let's start by showing you guys how bad the inside of this damn thing is. This has a bunch of stuff left from the previous homeowner, as well as a bunch of stuff from the current homeowner. That's me. I piled a bunch of shit in here that I kind of forgot about. But structure is good. This would be a perfect place to build a little man cave slash fish house slash my tiny warehouse, whatever you want to call it. So enjoy the time lapse. Let's get episode 1 in the books. Nope, just leave it. Okay, as you can see, trying to separate some stuff. Can't dump everything here at the local dump, so metal and plastic I might have to do separately. All the wood and shit like that, we're just gonna burn it because we like to burn stuff.
Spud, come, go.
Both of you, please.
We just got the teacup.
My temperature got cold fast. It's probably gonna rain here soon in Colorado. Temperature's dropping, clouds are getting really, really thick. Let's see what happens. But besides that, we have a bunch of stuff in here that may serve a purpose later on. There you go.
Thank you, Daddy.
You're welcome.
Oh, I remember all.
All right, when you start a project, your kids just want to interject. You heard me. Okay, some of this stuff I don't even know, man. Freaking A. There's an old office chair in here. Okay, that's about a ton and a half. Holy smokes, that sucks. That's heavy. I think I took a bunch of medicine before I started doing this. Whew. Oops. And the little shed behind you that I keep throwing stuff inside of, it's getting demolished, so it'll be fine. I'm just gonna throw away the shed and everything inside that one. But this one will become my tiny fish room or my tiny warehouse. However you want to look at it. It's so damn small, I don't know what you want to call it, but it's funny. Okay.
Right here, so I was realizing how much stuff I had thrown into this freaking shed. Not everything, probably not even most of it was previous homeowner stuff. Just the stuff on the shelves came from the last guy who used to live there. So this was a lot more stuff than I had remembered. But I did find a lot of useful stuff in there. A lot of huge cables to run wires. I actually did use some of that to wire up the camper that I've built but really haven't shown you guys yet. And this was very early on in me making YouTube videos, so not that I've gotten any better, but you can really see where a lot of it was filmed off of a phone using a gimbal and a microphone, and now I've switched to action cams. Hopefully gonna someday even upgrade further than that so we can film even cooler episodes. But this was a really fun project, and throughout this whole entire process of building my shed, I've been having a lot of back issues, which I don't want to throw myself a pity party. I'm just letting you guys know why I look all stiff and weird as I move around. Definitely had a lot of help. You know, shout out to my neighbor Bill and his grandkids for all the help that they've given me throughout the process and building stuff with me and moving stuff with me. You know what I mean? You'll see later on in the video, certain things just could not have happened without them. So really appreciate you guys. I don't even know if they watch my videos or not, but if you do, thank you. Very precarious walking around in there too. There was no ground yet. You know, we hadn't made it to the bottom of the shed, so everything was kind of flopping and rolling and smacking my shins. Really, really unique stuff we found in there too. Might as well be a couple museum pieces as far as old woodworking tools go.
So as you can see, the backyard is a work in progress. The patio started on it last summer. Ouch. And due to my injury, I was not able to finish it. But the goal is ultimately to have this patio get a little bit bigger, so there's more seating area. And back here, along this wall here, is going to be outdoor kitchen. And keep in mind, man, I'm not rich and I've never built most of this stuff before, so I'm a broke idiot trying to build stuff just to have nice things. There's no way I can afford a contractor to come in here and knock this out for me. Like for instance, my brick fell off. Awesome. I'm gonna have to add some cement. But yeah, me and my wife bought this house. It's a fixer-upper to say the least. So that's what we're working on, fixing it up. It is a fun project, but only if my back allows for it. Knowing my luck, probably not quite. This side's all broken anyways. Okay, see that brick? Broke in half. Dang it. Put it back. It's perfect. Okay. Now, I'll be right back. I'm gonna cheat. Hey, I'll run into the garage real fast. I'll be right back, buddy. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you being here. Alright, this is how you cheat. This is a fire starter log, so it's just like fuel to the fire, which will allow it to burn on its own. And as I add material in there, it'll just continually burn. But that's the coal at the bottom. This fire pit was very, I don't know, quickly put together. One night, the wife wanted to have a glass of something to drink. It's cold outside, we needed a fire. So the following weekend, I built this little spot so we could chill and sit by the fire. That being said, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to tune in. God, I can't even talk. The medicine is crazy, but make sure to seriously. Make sure to tune in for the next episode. This is gonna be a part 1 of building out my tiny warehouse. Ooh, that fire's coming right at me. I can't breathe. So yeah, see you on the next one. What's up, guys? Welcome to another video of my tiny warehouse. Today, we're gonna finish, or at least try to finish, demoing off all these shelves. They seem to be put together. There's a lot of screws, a lot of nails, possibly some staples. It's kind of a hodgepodge of stuff, how this shed was, or how these shelves were put together, not the shed itself, but we're gonna try and disassemble these shelves, get them out of here. All right, so luckily these shelves were a lot easier to get out than I thought they were going to be. It looked like they were screwed every which way from Sunday, you know what I mean? Like, how did you even get that thing screwed in kind of screws? And it was just me being ignorant, because as soon as I took off a couple screws, they all started dropping right off the wall. So that was luckily pretty easy. And then it was on to one of my favorite things of all time, hitting the freaking hardware store. Let's go. Okay, so I think for now we're just gonna stick with doing the framework, and then we'll come back for plywood when we get to that point, because we still haven't sourced our piece of glass. Go grab some screws, we'll see you in a few minutes. Alright, so we got Deckmate 2.5-inch star drive coated screws. This will be using improved thread design, yada yada yada. Big box of screws. They're for outdoor use, so hopefully they don't rust out, but we are going to be covering them with epoxy and rubber and everything else. So let's get the hell out of here and go build some shit. So that concludes Home Depot. All right, we made it back to the house. We got our wood to start framing. We're talking to Billy. Billy's my neighbor. The shed is not level. It seems that one side of the shed foundation is sagged a little bit. So we're going to load this wood into the garage. We're going to go address that problem next. That's all the wood. Well, one more. And then as soon as we're good there, we're gonna remove the rest of the shelves out of the shed, get a hole dug, jack the shed up, and fix that foundation. Wasp. And then we're gonna find some wasp spray and kill some wasps. Not yet. All right, we'll see you in a sec. Oh, we're back from the hardware store. Got the wood unloaded, but now this guy super stuck on here, and I'm not sure where it's still mounted. It's got to be that freaking piece of wood over there. Unless I missed something over here. It's very possible. I don't see anything holding this side up though. I'm going to put you guys on the tripod, do a little time lapse, and continue our work. Alright, so I clearly didn't put you guys on a time lapse. I went ahead and ended the video right there because it was getting pretty long. Stay tuned for episode 3 though, because in episode 3 we do start the build process. We'll finish up the demo process in episode 3. We got those 2 shelves removed. Good morning, YouTube. Welcome back to the channel, episode 3. As you can see behind me, all the shelves have been removed, including the 2 that we left on this wall right here. So, with that being said, it's time to start building. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is pick up the last bit of this trash. Boom. Got it. Bucket. Okay, so now we need to get the primer down for the floor, and let's get the floor knocked out today. Prepped, ready to go. We'll be wearing a respirator. I do not suggest painting in a closed area, especially with primer for epoxy, it stinks. So this is what we'll be using. We have epoxy countertop system by Stone Coat Epoxy. This is their primer, just to get on the floor. This is going to give us our base color. It's black. So then we got ourselves a roller, an extension, and let's get this knocked out. All right, my bad. I forgot to turn on the camera. Just getting there. Primer down. Good coverage. It's actually much better than I thought it was going to be. We're just rolling out this primer. We are going to have a pretty cool texture from the OSB wood. And we'll come back and we'll get all these corners that the roller couldn't get. But let's go grab another jar of paint, get this floor first coat done. Okay, busting open our second can. Sorry, my voice is all funny because of the mask. Alright, some more black paint. Yes, it's an absolute mess right here in front of the shed. I'm going to get the trailer loaded, get all that stuff taken to the dump. But let's get this super dirty side. Nice thick coat. We're only going to be doing one coat of this primer. And we just want to save enough to be able to hit our corners. So hopefully that's enough. What's left in the jar can be used for the corners. Just going to set this down right here. Alright. And let's get this section of the floor knocked out. Because it is bad right here. Now I know it ain't perfect. It ain't perfectly level. It's going to be a problem soon enough. It's level enough though that we could build and design from there. The other problem we're going to run into is it's still got some dirt. But this is going to hide that dirt that I couldn't get. You gotta imagine, folks, this shed ain't even had a door on it. God knows how long. Could be 20 years. And what this does, this gives the epoxy something to stick to. All right, folks. We're gonna let that dry. And we'll see you in a few minutes. All right, guys. We're in it to win it now. We got our piece of glass. Finally. 6 foot by 3 foot, 1/2 inch tempered glass. Originally was built for a dining room table. Sweet little old lady who owned a cleaning business had this sitting on her patio and sold it to me for a really good price. So just wanted to show you guys we got our glass. We're going to continue to build. We're going to knock this thing out. I don't even know. I'm so excited now that we got the glass. We might build the tank then the walls. Who knows? Okay, so what I realized, guys, is I did the primer on the floor and the wind sucks. I need a door. I need a door before I could do the epoxy floor because so much dust, leaves, and debris is getting into there that I need to clean out the floor again before we could even pour the epoxy. So I ran to the Restore. If you guys don't know what that is, or if you're not from Colorado, if you don't have one, it's like a store where people go donate stuff, kind of like Goodwill. And then it's just available, but it only is like furniture, doors, windows, stuff like that. So went and picked up a door. I think the door is about a 1/2 inch too small. So we are going to have to do some shimming right here. We'll have to add another 1/2 inch to this piece. Shouldn't be a problem. But it'll at least allow us to get the epoxy floor done. So let's get the install of the door done real quick so we can get on to pouring the floor. Ooh. Okay, got our door. My neighbor hooked me up with some really funky, funny looking slippers. So hopefully I don't screw up the floor anymore. Pretty sure these are like women's shower shoes, but keeps the, whoa. Okay. Oh yeah, keeps the primer nice and clean, despite looking really, really funny. Hopefully you can't see my feet right now. Okay, let's get our door installed so we can get working on this floor in here. One long ass screw. What the hell is that for? I don't think we need long ass screws. If we do, we got some better ones than that. For now, I think we gotta figure out how to shim this damn door up a little bit so we can start driving in some screws. Because at the moment, it is far from ready. So let's see. How high up do we need it? And okay. So it's not super high. And I'm not sure how to shim it up to screw it in place because my foot is like too tall. I was just gonna rest it on my foot, but that didn't work out too well. Let's grab this guy. Try not to lose the door in the process. So let's get this one corrected now that we have one on the bottom. Okay. This is gonna be fun. Oh, shoot, I just pulled the magnet off the mic. Okay, let's fix our microphone real fast. Okay, mic's fixed. Good to go. Let's check the door fit. Okay, we're a little high. Whew. I don't know if we're high or if this thing is sagging. Because it's like it clears just fine on one side. And we're barely hitting. I'm gonna... Hey, Lace! Grab me some wood screws, would you? In the box. Which, hopefully I'm not foreshadowing. But I think this is sagging a little bit. I think if we just screw it up a little bit, it'll fix our little bit of an issue here. Because it's a significant amount of sag. And if it wasn't there, the door would fit. Oh yeah. Let's see. Let's see if we can fix it like that. Oh shit. I just stepped outside with my sandals. Gosh darn it. I'm gonna need a fresh pair of sandals. Freaking stepped outside. Or I'll just go in my socks.
What the fuck did you say?
Yeah. That's what I would do. If your socks aren't dirty.
No.
How's it fitting?
I don't know. I need to see real fast. I want to stick a couple of these screws in here and see if we can't suck this guy up because it seems like it's sagging a little bit.
You need to get right here, not right here.
I know, but there's no wood to screw up into right there.
Oh, shoot, I can't step in there.
Actually, give me that little 2x4 right there. That might work perfectly for what we need it for. Oh, I think that will work pretty good. The goal here, guys, is just to add some extra support. That we can brace up into. Let's go right in. Oh, how'd we miss? Oh, I went right between them. I literally went right between the boards and missed completely.
I gotta go check on this.
All right. All right, boom, like that, we have a door. Now, let's get this cleaned out one more time. Let's mix some epoxy. Let's get the epoxy on the floor. And then we'll start framing up our tank so we can get that next step going. Shoo! Yeah, the wind sucks here. There's a quarry nearby. It's always full of sand. And when the wind blows, dust just everywhere. So this is just an attempt to keep it clean. And I mean, ultimately it's gonna need a door anyway, so just kind of jumping up in steps. But let me get the broom, some other supplies, and we'll be right back. Wasp. Okay, we got the door installed. Got a brand new broom from the Home Depot. And some fresh, really funny looking slippers to walk around in. Yeah, it is what it is. It's free shoes to keep this room clean. I'm all in. Kinda. I'm halfway in. Oh, these are the most awkward shoes. Billy called them jailhouse slippers. So, this is what you have to wear when you're locked up. That seems like cruel and unusual punishment. Okay. Okay, we got our feet in, sort of. Got our door in. Quite a bit of dust accumulated. For sure. There's a nail that needs driven back into the floor right there. Just found that. Also need to think about how we're gonna light this room up. I was kind of looking at options at Home Depot today. Quite a bit of dust. Oh, we're gonna have to put like a floor mat in there or something. But the slippers do work. Can you grab me I need a bunch of stuff. I need the epoxy in the box, the bucket and the mixer and the drill and the squeegee. Okay, floor's looking pretty good. Let's get that nail taken care of before we pour.
Go in there.
Nah. The one in the box, I said, not those ones. Well, just bring it all. Oh no. Okay. We'll put a welcome mat or something right here because it's gonna have some dust inevitably. Okay.
What else do you need?
The epoxy in the box. And I need those little stir cups, the color.
Wait, like the little epoxy? The colors?
The colors and those little cups and the stir sticks. And then the other 2 gallons in that box. Hoping 2 gallons is enough. If it's a little bubbly and stuff. I don't know. I honestly don't even know what I'm doing. I'm just trying to waterproof it because it's an OSB floor. And, OSB is pretty tough. I had a piece out in the yard for the last couple years. And it's still surviving, so. Just want to take some extra measures to make sure it lasts as long as it possibly can. And holy crap, it's freaking hot out here. Ah. Oh my. Well. That's awesome. Take that drill bit, I don't need that. Where's all the mixing stuff? There's our mixer. Yeah. For our epoxy. Get some. All right, I think we got finally everything we need to fuck this up properly. Oh, okay. This makes me nervous. These guys. Okay, we got all our resin out of our buckets. Let's add that to our collection of crap. Oh, so here it is right here. So we're gonna get this in here. And we're just gonna come grab this. Okay, set that on the table for me. Okay. Okay, so that step is done. We got it mixed, and let's get it out of the sun real fast. And then here, let's do it's overheating? How much time we got?
Well, it says that the screen disables after 3 seconds if it's overheating.
But it's still recording? Okay. That's fine. All right, guys, so we're gonna do something kind of fun here. We're just gonna go and give it a little splash of color. A little bit of yellow right there. And then we'll do a dash of red in there as well. And then I'm gonna set these off to the side because we need to get some more of our clear coat down. I want to splash that kind of over the top of that stuff because I'm going to draw it all out. We're going to go for kind of a red and yellow marble effect. That's what we're after. So this will give you the first idea of the color scheme. As I draw it back, you'll start to see the different colors come out in the epoxy. We might have to get an MTFR rug to kind of put in the middle.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I'm gonna shut this door for a second. Could you go grab me a flashlight? All right, guys, good morning. It's another day. Got the second layer poured last night. We poured the second layer while the first layer was still a little bit tacky. And let the light adjust. You can see how it turned out. It's all done. It's all cured. It's got some color in it. Put a little green tint, some red, some greens. And it is hard and waterproofed. So that means we need to put in some walls so we can put in a tank. Let's go to the hardware store. All right, see you in 2 seconds. All right, we're back from the hardware store. And we're going to cut some interior walls, I guess what you're gonna call them. I don't really know. This first back wall we're gonna do is 88 and 7/8. Get our lines measured. Get it marked and get it cut. Get our mark. Got everything we need real quick. So there's our first backing wall cut. Multi-purpose level. Oh yeah. Let's see how well this fits. And if we gotta do any trimming. What is it? Cut 40 times, measure once. So here's our first piece. Just gonna Now, let's see if a full sheet of plywood will cover up. My bad, I left you in the wrong corner. But we're gonna have to either add a support on both sides to be able to install our sheathing, or cut the sheathing down. But you can see they installed with this goofy ass piece of wood. So we're gonna attach another 2x4 right here at our 8-foot mark to be able to screw into. All right, let me go get some wood cut. We'll be right back. Okay. Got us a piece cut. All right, guys. My Walmart grocery delivery just got here. I gotta put away groceries. I'll be right back. Oh, shoot. Okay, we're back. My daughter's at home playing hooky from school.
Mama.
She said she didn't feel good.
Yeah, I don't feel good, and he's making me help.
I don't know what she's talking about. Okay, so now I think we could just add an 8-foot section. Okay. First section over there, complete. Now let's move back to this side. Shimmy, 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 shimmy. All the way over there. And go grab another piece of wood. Okay. It's hot. Little bubble over here that's driving me nuts. So let's fix it. That's what we got so far, guys. We got this section installed for right now. And then now we start measuring and framing for the tank. So what we did is we cut our lengths, right? Because we're gonna have a base, a back wall, and a front wall. So there's the full length pieces for that. Now this, all I'm doing here is I'm installing a stop so we can cut all of our cross members. Okay, so now let the fun begin. We're gonna leave this set up just like this because we'll have to do more cutting later on. But grab some screws and get started on the actual tank. Okay, I know I've said this many times, but I'm not a freaking woodworker, so let's see how this goes. So I don't have a square, that's what you normally use, but we're gonna just use what we got. Wow, load it up. Okay, that was a bad idea. I'm gonna do it again. Okay, we got our frame done, good to go. But as you can see, we got freaking rained out, man. So, all right, guys. So we're gonna cut down. We got our stop installed. I already cut some. Totally forgot to turn on the camera. I'm an idiot. But this will be all the pieces for the vertical side of it, right? So the back wall, the two side walls, as well as the front wall where the glass is gonna go. So I'm not gonna bore you with all those details. So we're just gonna cut this up, and we'll see you when we have all 16 pieces. That's what we need for right now. Cut. Safety first. Now. Oh. Hey. Just like the fawns. All right, pieces are cut. Let's take this apart and start putting stuff together. Let's unplug it so I don't accidentally cut off my finger. And we'll fold her in, lock her down. Yeah. Step number 2. Need to see what it looks like. No. Okay. Whew. Come inside. So the light will adjust a little bit better. But as you guys can see, it's a pretty tight squeeze. And there lies the beginning of the tank. So I'm standing inside what will be the tank. The glass will be about 6 inches smaller in length or width than this back piece right here. But unfortunately, I ran out of energy and I also ran out of wood. So why don't we cut it right there for the day? We're gonna end episode 3. Hurrah! We've added some new subscribers. Thank everybody for watching. If you're new here, I'm trying to turn this shed into my personal little space. A giant aquarium. I think we did the math, around 958 gallons worth of water will be in here. Maybe we'll turn it into an editing studio. Maybe we'll do a podcast or some vlogging. Who knows? But yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you on episode 4. Peace out. Good morning, MTFR fam. We are one step closer to completing our tank. So in episode 3, we did the floor. You know, we initially started the walls and we started to frame the tank. So right where we left off, we are going to do frame, and the frame for the window. Whew. Not gonna lie guys, this project is rough. It's been extremely hot. My back has been pretty cooperative. Had some work done and just want to finish this. We basically got 2 more days of work to at least get the tank built. The rest of the room we can finish later after we go back to work, but the majority of this work I'd like to have it done. So then we're just doing cosmetic stuff. So yeah, let's get started. Oh, let the light adjust. Oh, my hair looks crazy. All right, guys, we are complete. Our shell of our tank is done. What do you think? This will be our new cichlid house. My tiny fish room just got a little bit bigger. Let's make it a fish tank. Okay, as you can see, our tank is mostly sheathed in. Didn't want to bore you guys with the same thing over and over and over again. So, same thing with this one. As we did on the other side, we did the best we possibly could to fit it. We did end up with a relatively large gap right here. And I'll show you guys that here in a second. But let's get this screwed into place and start working on fixing some of the gaps and issues that we have. And what I did on the last one is after I mounted it, I go back and fix the gaps, make it level, flush, and then cut out the window. And we are going to have a significant gap that we're going to have to address, and we will address it. And everything, keep in mind, will be epoxied, so there won't be, notice keyword there is hopefully. Grab a couple more screws. I was not sure if this box of screws was going to be enough. So far, so good. So we'll see. Slap one more down the bottom here for good measure. Okay. Show you where we're at. So, all of the sheathing is now complete, installed. You can see what we'll do So we'll cut out this excess piece right here. So when we inset our window, it's good to go right there. But yeah, it's hot, very hot. Yeah, and we're just gonna use a Sawzall, reciprocating saw, I think is what it's called in the real world. Use that. And then right here is what I was talking about, those gaps. Huge gap. So what we'll be doing is we'll put a backing of wood right here. We'll fill the gap with silicone caulking, and same thing on the bottom, because I suck at cutting wood. All right, that's enough of my mistakes. Oh, also, we did make other mistakes. You want to see my other mistakes? Of course you want to see my other mistakes. Right there. That wasn't there before. Forgot where the plywood was going to meet up. If there's nothing here, it's just floating. It's a lot of weight to be floating in a corner. So everywhere, and I mean every single corner, I messed that up. So I had to go back on the floor, on the wall, on that wall, on that wall, on all the walls, and add some supports in there. So needless to say, we did go to the hardware store again. We did not film it again, because I suck at filming too. But with all that being said, let's get back to work. Okay, normally I'd cut from the other side, but I can't see to save my life, so I'm gonna have to cut from this side. Not the best idea, but it is what it is. Smooth it out with the router or something. I thought about leaving it like round, then I was like, nah, not my thing. All right, now we have a boomerang. Just kidding. I'm not Australian, it wouldn't come back. Shoo! All right, so now, obviously, we cut that a hair large. And we're gonna come back and hit it with probably the sander, to be honest with you, because it just works a little bit better. I need a new routing bit. And yeah, so probably the sander. Sand away. All right. All right, I got a doctor's appointment here in a little bit, so I gotta go take a shower and not smell like a rabid dog. So we will continue in just a little bit. All right, we do have some gap issues. I'll show you right now. You see right here, there's a gap. We gotta fill those in. And I think the best option to get those filled in is gonna be wood filler. So let's head over to the hardware store, get some wood filler. And I also forgot to get some gloves. So we'll get some gloves for doing the epoxy. We're going to fiberglass every single joint. We're going to fix our gaps with some wood filler first. We'll sand off any spots where we put in screws and it's got some little burrs sticking out. Burry. And let's make us a tank. I know this process has probably been longer than any of you wanted. Definitely longer than I wanted. But we're getting there. We're gonna do this in episode whatever we're on. All right, so we're gonna head over to the Home Depot, get some wood fillers, some gloves, probably some more wasp spray because there's a lot of wasps. I hate wasps, little bastards. But yeah, we are getting close. Next steps will be, pretty much final steps in getting the tank ready. We'll get the glass prepped and installed, and then probably need to do some testing. Like, does it hold water? Will it fall apart? I don't know. We're gonna fill it up and find out though, so stay tuned. And this is gonna be episode 4, by the way. I know I screwed that up earlier, but I looked on my computer. So yeah, 4 episodes. Essentially, we were able to build almost 1,000-gallon tank. So if anybody at home is thinking about taking on a project like this, it's really not that bad. A lot cheaper than trying to pay some company to build you a tank. So the DIY realm, it was an awesome experience. I hope it works. So stay tuned to find out. Counting on nothing. Henry 345 premix 4 patch. Hopefully this will work. I want to get a small putty knife too. Let's go find one of those. So that's what we're gonna need next. And gloves. I saw some gloves the other day when I was in here. There's cleaning stuff. Let's go see if there's gloves around the corner. Okay, so we found some knives and some gloves. So I don't remember what was on the list. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Let's check the list. Okay, so we got some wasp spray. Oh, that's magnetic. Just lost the microphone. Oh yeah, found these too. Neat little pack of gloves. And then we also got some wood filler so we can bang out our cracks. No idea what I'm doing. So let's go see how it goes. Holy shit, it's bright outside. Oh yeah, loaf and jug sunglasses are the best. I'm hungry. I'm gonna go find some food first. Okay, so we have our putty and our putty knife. Let's start filling in some of these larger gaps that we have working on our tank. Now this is a pre-mixed floor patch, basically a wood filler. So what we're going to do, certain areas have less than ideal gaps. And this is going to help us seal up those gaps. And of course we're going to be covering this with epoxy, so this is mostly just to make sure structurally that we have good bonds between all the layers. Let me get you guys a better view. It's kind of like Bondo for wood. So this is what we're doing right there. That'd be kind of hard to see. Hold on. Just lower you guys down in here. You can see all it's doing is filling in little voids and whatnot that we have. And this stuff is sandable, so once it dries and hardens up, you can come back and sand it up. Doing these corners, it's kind of pain. So just gonna kind of load them up. Keep in mind we're filling the gap to fix it. So you want to smear it in there really good. We'll continue this process throughout every crack that we can find and every screw hole, etc. Whatever. Filling all the cracks with mud. Really weird textured mud. It's almost like a goofy sand. Feels like a silica sand. If you've ever worked with that stuff. Like Mod Podge with some sand in it. Is it Mod Podge or is it Hodgepodge? I don't know. Whatever. But yeah, so. So that's what we're up to for right now. I'm not going to bore you with the whole process. I'll wrap this up and we'll catch up in just a minute. Okay, so as you can see, covered up the screw holes, got every joint covered up, got our gaps right here filled up really good, all the way around, nothing up there. But yeah, so all this is going to do is seal up anywhere we had some space left over. And like I said, this stuff's fully sandable, so we're gonna let this dry overnight. We'll see you in the morning. Peace out. So right now I'm just applying epoxy so I can start fiberglassing. These joints and corners together. All I'm doing is putting a layer of epoxy down, and then I'll come back and stick the fiberglass to that and continue to layer over the top of it as we work our way down and around the tank. And I'm being lazy. I have a microphone inside. I just don't want to go get it because I didn't get the slowest drying epoxy, which I probably have plenty of time to work with it. You know what I mean? Probably got a couple hours, but I'm lazy and I don't want to go inside. And I don't know where my thing is for my tripod, so my wife's holding the camera right now, so this is how we're doing it right now. What you do is the first layer of epoxy is basically just like a glue layer. Make sure you squish it into the corners. Just kind of thick layer, so that way the sheathing will stick to it. Not gonna lie, I probably could have done a better job of sanding, but nobody's gonna see this corner. So then I'm just gonna push our fiberglass down in there, squish it into the corner, give ourselves a nice rounded joint right there. And I know there's tools. I have tools for fiberglass, but I didn't bring them out here, so it is what it is. Now once you get that first layer on there, come in here closer at least so you can see. You can see how it turns transparent once there's enough epoxy. So what that tells us is we've got quite a bit more epoxy to apply for just even this first layer. And this is to waterproof and reinforce the sheathing, make it 10 times stronger. And I'm going to have to run and mix some more epoxy, it looks like. I definitely did not mix enough.
What? I like animals, okay?
I know you do.
A worm. Perfect animal.
I
Sheep.
wouldn't call it a perfect animal, but
But Daddy, if I find another worm, I'll feed it to Earl, okay?
no, don't feed it to Earl. I don't want Earl to catch a disease from some random worm.
What about Kronos?
Kronos is fine.
Okay. Don't mess with Wormy, okay? I'm gonna sit right there for a second. Let me go find another worm.
Alright, so we almost got the first layer. How's this first corner done? And I overlap just a hair at the bottom, so that way my cross joint, or my next layer that goes
Okay.
across the bottom of the tank,
I found another worm.
will be
It's cooler.
overlapped. Crashing, I'm filming, bro. You can come in here, but just don't be all loud about wormy.
Okay.
Our soil must be good for worms.
And so that you can see how it's almost fully transparent will now become our first waterproofing layer, and that'll help keep all of this from falling apart because I built it. That should be fine. Now gotta move on to the next one. And the next one, and the next one. We're supposed to go to the balloon festival tonight. We thought it'd be fun to go vlog a video, something unique that happens in Colorado and Mexico, a few places around the country, but if you can't hear it, it is thundering like crazy outside. So, it's very likely that they will cancel the event.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
I'm a little bit more, I don't think they will.
All right, we're at the balloon glow. Got Lacey, Crashton down there.
Give me a break.
Apparently he needs a break. But we are going to go check out the balloon glow. It's a festival of hot air balloons that happens every year in Colorado, so it should be fun. Let's go check it out if we don't get completely rained out. So these silicone cups have measuring marks on them. So I'm just doing 20 mil with A, 20 mil with B. It's a 1-to-1 mix on the epoxy. And you can use other liquid polymers for this kind of application for waterproofing, but for me, this one was a cheap overnight delivery option available by Amazon. So, for the sake of saving time and the price, obviously, I like cheap. We got this one for, I don't even know how much. But now that I think about it, I did screw up a little bit because I totally intended on coloring these corners because I wanted to get an idea of what the color is going to be. Can you grab me the blue? Open it. Alright, so we're going to add a drop of blue so we can get an idea how we want to mix the polymer to make the tank walls. So it's a very light, translucent blue almost. That's one drop. So let's go ahead and add 3 more. Oh, or a whole bunch because it did not come out in drops. Oh yeah. I think that's a semi-translucent blue. We might have to add a little bit of black in there to darken it up. Let's make this next corner blue. We'll have an idea of how blue it will be up against the wood, which actually I think we're going to add a little more. 1, 2, 3, and we'll go 4 more drops. You want to make sure this stuff mixes in really well, or you will end up with the marble effect. Be like translucent and blue. I really like that blue color. And what we might have to do, we might have to put down a layer of latex paint first in a light blue. Then we'll add this color blue, and then it'll be blue. Okay, so let's get this painted on there. I'm just going about a little bigger than the width of the brush, all the way down the seam, getting in the seam real good, make sure that's got plenty in there. Like I said, this first layer is just to glue the fiberglass onto the wood. Then each subsequent layer after the fact will be rolled on, and these corners will be hit again. So we'll brush it on right now in the corners to get our fiberglass set. Then we'll come back through with a roller, and we'll roll the rest of the epoxy on to waterproof the rest of the wood. Or if we need to for color purposes, we'll go ahead and add the latex paint before we add the next layers of epoxy. And that's all going to depend on how this blue turns out, which I can tell you already, it's
not dark enough.
Too transparent. So I think we're going to have to put a base layer. And we could do probably a light blue, and then we'll have a transparent blue over the top, which I think will give us a nice aquarium, aquatic, whatever, landscape, aquascape, who cares? My fish are going to love this. Probably could have done a better job of sanding right down there, not gonna lie. So next, I don't know if you ever worked with fiberglass before, but it's a really weird mesh cloth, so I like to take it, put my foot on it, and pull it tight, because otherwise it'll be all zigzaggy, and that just stretches it nice and clean for me. Now I'm going to set the top very lightly, come down here and set the bottom, same thing, nice and lightly. And it is going to move on you, don't worry so much about that. When you're brushing it in, you can get it a lot better. You can even see here where it stretched itself a little bit. And now we'll just go back through, same thing we've been doing, and applying more over the top, soaking it in, and trying to get the fiberglass to become as transparent as we can, which means we've got a good bond, or at least enough epoxy that it will bond. And do yourself a favor, smooth that shit out as much as you can. Sanding sucks. You want to be in here sanding all the time, getting everything smoothed out. And on the other side of that, if you don't give a shit, cosmetically, who cares if it has a few bumps? You know what I mean? How often am I going to be looking at the inside of this aquarium going, damn, there's a bump right there. Should have sanded that. I guarantee you never. Oh no, I'm spilling. Got some spillage. Little stir stick. I'm not going to add any more color. We can clearly see that that test failed. So we'll salvage the rest of our color for after we put down the tank's primer, which will be an exact replica of how I did the floor. It'll start off with a primer. We get the primer on there. Choose a light color that you'll be able to see. That base color ultimately will become part of the tank background. So we're going to do light blue with a transparent blue over the top for waterproofing.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
And we got to run one more seam, at least one more seam after this one, because I need this done, because we are dipping out for the rest of the weekend. It is what weekend is it?
Labor Day.
Weekend? It's Labor Day weekend, so we're going to hit the lakes with some friends of ours up in the mountains. So want to get this done so it can dry and cure while we're gone. And then when we come back, we put the final few layers of epoxy on the entirety of the inside of the tank, and boom, we got a fish tank. Crazy. Now, for the record, everybody in my direct family and or neighbors all think I'm crazy for doing this in my backyard. Maybe for doing it, period. I don't know. Why is this thing anybody ever said to me on Facebook? When I first started, some guy, I don't know if he was trolling me or not, but he said, build whatever the hell you want. And if people watch, great. If people don't watch, well, then you still ended up with what you wanted. So, this is what I want. This is what I'm building. It's just that simple. I like building stuff, so. Shoo! All right, guys. That's a wrap for episode 4. We've got all of our seams done. We're going to let those dry. Then we're going to add a layer of latex paint. That'll be our color for the tank. And we'll do the epoxy for waterproofing the rest of the wood. So thanks for watching. Look out for episode 5. See you on the next one. Good morning, MTFR. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Jared, and we're working on building a 900-gallon aquarium. Been in a whole series on how we built this tank, and today we're finally at the point where we'll be putting our latex paint down for our color base, whatever you call it, as well as hopefully getting some layers of epoxy on there today. We also did add a couple boards just here at the bottom. We just want this to be able to support the glass. This will help when we install it to put the glass in the right spot without having to finagle it. So without further ado, let's get into today's video. All right, guys, I apologize. Definitely did lose some footage. Not sure what happened. Probably forgot to press record on me. But this is where we're at. We've got our paint selected. It's a light blue color. We're currently painting the tank right now to install the first layer of latex paint, Epoxy is next. But yeah, as you can see, this is the color the tank will be. I think it'll dry a little bit lighter, a little bit more chalky color, which is what we're hoping for. And if not, oh well, blue is blue. But yeah, let's continue on. Let's get the rest of the tank painted up, get that first layer of waterproofing done. We'll let that dry, and then I'll be back as soon as I get done with this first layer. I don't know how many more subsequent layers I'm going to put on the tank. But what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to bore you guys to death with that. So now that you've seen pretty much what I'm working on, I'll see you after we get all the layers put on the tank and we're ready for glass. Oh yeah. All right, what's up guys? We're gonna make the floor, I can't talk, it's hot outside. We're gonna make the floor darker, make it bluer. Blue, 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 my favorite thing here lately. Blue. So, all we're going to do is pour this all over the floor without falling in, hopefully. Because it is pretty liquidy. But as far as dark blue goes, or deep blue, we wanted to change up the bottom of the tank. By the time it gets spread out and stuff, it won't be so dark, maybe? I'm not sure, actually. We did some testing over here and stuff from earlier, but that turned out pretty dark, so we'll see. Alright, so we'll see you after the epoxy dries. Bye-bye. Alright guys, we're here. We did it. The tank is fully waterproofed. As you saw, I made the color a little darker on the floor. Kind of made like a weird, cool little wave-like marbling. But yeah, every subsequent layer has been added. We did have a spot right there. We had to ultimately we had to sand that down and redo it right there. We are going to go through and do a little bit more epoxy along this top edge. Make sure that this top piece of plywood here soaks in all of that epoxy, giving us a nice surface, kind of like we have right here. I don't know if the camera could pick that up, but you can tell that it's been soaked up really well. There you go, you can kind of see it back there, that glassiness. But with that being said, one more cliffhanger. Another thing we're going to be doing is we did go today to pick up the supplies to do our filtration system. And I think we're going to do something fun. We're going to do a super huge Temu version of a fish filter. It'll all be gravity fed. I mean, with the pump, of course, but should make it a little easy on us for maintenance. And we'll see how that goes. But thanks for watching. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This is episode 6. We will be installing the glass today. As you can see, the tank is dry, cured, and if I can get my camera off, ready to rock and roll. So we added some color inside the tank. We added, I think we ultimately ended up doing 4 layers on the walls. And 2 really thick layers on the floor. Now the only thing left that we really need to do is we need to add some beauty caps right here, which is just going to be some 2x6 boards that we'll use for fascia. I think that's what you call it. Not sure. But yeah, after we get the glass installed, see if we can this thing up by filling it up with water. Everybody around me is convinced this thing is going to fall apart. So let's find out. Let's get into today's video. So before we get started working in the new fish room, ooh, got a piece of hair sticking out. Let's go feed our fish. So as you know, we added this guy, Frank the Tank. He's a pike. He's beautiful. He is very aggressive. He cannot live with other fish because he will eat whatever you put in the tank for him. He likes to stay in his caves. There are a couple snails in there that he hasn't tried to eat yet. Over here, well, typically there's Kronos up here. He's got the big giant ship that we originally had in the 125. Became kind of cumbersome to do maintenance with that thing. So we pulled it. It's just now decoration for the room. But I think Kronos, my buddy, he's down in this lower part. He has full access to climb all the way up and into his warm room, but he likes to come kick it in the sand and cool off. Kronos, say hi. No, he's not in the mood. He's chilling. All right. See you later, buddy. Ooh, doo, 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 doo. He loves when you scratch his forehead. He's like, oh, yeah. And this is another DIY build that I did out of a old cabinet door and some leftover wood I found. So that way my lizard has somewhere to kick it inside my fish room. Now, next is probably my favorite fish. Definitely my wife's favorite fish. This is 100% my wife's favorite tank. This is Earl and Yusuke's tank. Earl is obviously an Oscar. Yusuke is a green terror. Absolutely beautiful fish. And these two live kind of like a couple. These goldfish were put in here to feed Earl. Earl likes live fish occasionally. And for some reason, Earl decided to adopt all these fish, and he herds them around the tank and takes care of them. Over here, we have old Crooked Tail. If you can see right there, he sustained some kind of injury at some point in his life that now his tail is permanently crooked. But he's right there. Awesome. Helps keep the tank clean. These guys obviously are like, give me some food. Let's grab a little bit of something so we can feed them along the way. All my fish are always hungry because they're, I don't know, they are well fed. They eat several times a day. We'll throw a little bit of fish flake for everybody in there. All right, and that's Earl and Yusuke's tank and Crooked Tail. And then our herd of goldfish that we adopted somehow. I don't know. Over here is a colony of guppies that we started. It's hard to find him. You can see him right there. That yellow male is the only original fish. This whole tank started off with 2 fish, 1 female blue, and that male right there that I just showed you. Since then, we've populated the tank several times, but these ultimately become feeder fish. This is what all the other fish in the room tend to eat. We only feed out the males. The females we don't feed out for breeding purposes. We leave them in there. Over here is my good friend Ninja. He's a samurai beta fish. Very cool. He originally was my son's fish. He was upstairs in my son's room, but again, maintenance became kind of cumbersome, and my son was not ready to take care of a pet. So I moved him down here into the fish room so that way I could take care of him. And oddly enough, he's probably the most social beta fish I've ever seen in my life. He loves fish. He loves hanging out. You can't know if you can see him in the background there, but there's a pea puffer swimming up and down, going crazy. There's some Cory catfish in here, all albinos. There's also an albino Brussels nose placo in here somewhere. And bamboo shrimp is also in there. And 2 African dwarf frogs are in there. Some things are harder to find than others, obviously, but everything's alive and well in there. I check it every time I do a water change. So, yeah, that's that tank right there. And this is a 40-gallon, 40-gallon, and then these 2 over here with Frank and Earl are 75-gallon tanks. Now, getting over here is our 125-gallon tank. There's Crookedfoot's brother. Came from the same batch. The one that's in Earl's tank. Then up here we have our OBs. There's our tank boss right there. Big old orange and black one. We just call him DB. He's named after the Denver Broncos. There's Shirley, our other Oscar. We'll be joining Earl some point when they get into the big tank. We got a Texas cichlid right here. We got an off-brand peacock OB down there. There's some Chinese algae eaters that everybody loves to hate. There's a Jack Dempsey, some convicts. Really pretty convicts right there. There's a blue peacock, hard to see with the reflection. Oh, there's a flameback. There's a baby firemouth. There's Plato. Big guy hiding out. Oh, our Frontosa over here, he always hides out in his cave. Can't see him very well, but he's in there. There's our blue Acara. coming to make an appearance. What's up, buddy? There's our parrot, our big beautiful goldfish. And yeah, that's the variety of fish that we are currently keeping in there. Oh, we still have a German blue ram. That guy's been in. That was my very first fish I ever bought. He's still alive, doing great. Yeah, it's crazy. So yeah, so these are the fish that need a new home, and that's the reason why we're building this new giant tank. These guys eat a lot of food. I'm just giving them a little bit of flake. I supplement fish flake throughout the day, sometimes 3 times a week, 1 meal. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 1 meal is live fish. Usually it's Rosie's. But yeah, it's a quick rundown. I haven't been showing my fish room very often because of the amount of work I've been doing on my project. But everything is still on schedule in this room. Maintenance goes pretty routinely. We try not to miss anything. And honestly, to be 100% transparent with you guys, I had gotten a little lazy with water changes, specifically the 125-gallon tank. Surely, the blue Acara and one of the convicts had to be pulled out, isolated due to ick. The water column got contaminated. I got lazy with the water changes. So that does happen, you know what I mean? And mistakes can be made that are fatal to your fish. So, you know, keep an eye on them. They'll tell you when they need something. I was just in here looking at them, admiring them, talking to my wife about how I need to do a water change, and Shirley comes to the top of the glass like she always does, right here. And on her back fin and on her side fins there, she had a bunch of ick. And then I started looking around and noticed, wow, the blue Acara has some ick, and one of the convicts has some ick. So we pulled them, we isolated them. We did about a 80% water change that I didn't film. Oh, there's our Salvini coming out to say hello. Hard to see with the reflection, but it's right there. Right underneath. Oh, our Geophagus came out too. So there is our Salvini. It's kind of swimming up to the glass, kind of curious. Very, very shy fish. Loves to hide out in his cave. He lives right on top of the Frontosa. And just a super cool fish. I wish he would turn sideways so we could see some of his colors. But he's got black and red and yellows and blues, and very pretty fish. And these are all freshwater fish. My peaceful place. So, with that being said, we do have to run down to the fish store today. I do need to get a few supplies. We're running low on pellets and fish flake. So we'll have to go re-up on some food. And then we'll get back to working on our tank. Ultimately, Bill and his grandson are going to come over later, help me install this piece of glass. We will let it sit overnight to cure the silicone, and then tomorrow we're water testing. So we got a 4,500 gallon per hour pump, which will be our evacuation pump for water changes, filtration, all that stuff. So we will be set and ready to test as soon as we get the glass installed. So let's go knock it out.
Ooh, sneak peek of our filtration system. Ooh. I don't know where the other piece is.
You know, as we get into today's build, I suddenly realized something about the fact that I can edit videos now. I don't have to work as hard. I need 3 48-inch pieces for fascia. Wha-bam! Ugh. Hurt my hand a little bit. But there we have our 3 48-inch pieces. Now, let's go put those in. All right, can you see me? I'm down here. Okay, let me go grab. So we may or may not come back and route us in a pretty little decorative edge. I don't know. But essentially these boards are going to hang over about 3 inches giving us a little bit of a shelf here. Like so. Okay, get you guys a better angle. And then we'll also have one in the middle. And we'll have one on the end. I know what you guys are saying. That's so ugly. It is. Sort of. But the thing you got to remember, form, fit, and function are more important to me. Essentially, I want this thing to function correctly. And the reason I'm using heavy duty 2x6s for the top is because I got them for free. It's that simple. Free wood. Wood's expensive. But this will not be installed yet because I want to get the glass over the top installed into the window before we do that. So for now, these pieces will basically just be stacked up over here. We'll get some measurements between over there, yada yada, and we'll cap off the top once we get the glass installed. Just waiting on Billy to hit me up. I don't know if he's available or not today. He has not reached out since I hit him up this morning, so we might not be able to do it today. If that's the case, we'll continue to work on this outside and get that done because we can. All right, let's go back to screwing stuff together. All right, guys. So unfortunately, we do not have a piece of glass in the garage anymore. It's gone. Just kidding. Welcome to the MTFR shed of sheds. Let me close this so we don't have so much glare. But the glass now lives where it's supposed to. This is awesome. Billy and his grandson came and installed the glass for me. Obviously with my back, I cannot lift crazy huge piece of glass. And Billy and his grandson did not want to be on camera. So big shout out to you guys. Thank you so much for coming and doing this for me. It's an epic part of the project and I cannot wait to progress this project now. So without further ado, let's let this silicone dry. I'll see you in the morning so we can start capping this thing and water testing. Let's go. All right, so we're working on the boards. Woo, that light hasn't adjusted. To cap off right here. But I think we should stain them and epoxy them before we install them. And also we need to do this front cap all around the glass. So let's knock that out. Also, I had to get a haircut because I was starting to look like a mop head. So haircut, done. Fascia boards, pretty much done. Need to cut the cap. It's right there. Let's do it. Okay, so we got all our boards sanded and we have dark walnut 2716, which is what we're going to be using to stain the cap because I want to seal up that wood. And again, I had this lying around. I don't know what I had used this on before, but that's what we're using today. Got a microfiber towel, got some stain. Forgot, can't open it though without a screwdriver. So, oh, I'm an idiot. Let me grab some gloves because I don't want to be all stained. Got some gloves. And hopefully there's enough stain here to stain all this wood, because it's quite a bit. So I'm literally just going to douse it a little bit, and I'm going to go back and hit it with our our rag. And we're going to stain out all the wood just like that. Give ourselves a little dab in the thing, maybe, and get it down to it. There we go. We're just going to continue to rub that in. And after we get it stained, we'll come back and brush on a layer of epoxy. Guarantee us a nice seal, nice color, and you know, all that jazz. So that's what we're up to. Ooh, there we go. There's a good dollop. The words in the English language, man. What is a dollop? How do you measure a dollop? Is that a thing? Is a dollop measurable? All you folks out there that cook, I think is where you would use a dollop of something. Is that a measurable thing? How do you know what a dollop is? I know it's a stupid question, but I'm kind of a stupid guy. So, down in the comments, let me know what the heck a dollop is. I know I could probably just go look it up on the internet, but I'm lazy. Okay, now we need a smaller dollop because we're just on the sides here. Like I said, I just chose this color because I had lying around. I'm not a designer by any means. Yeah, I mean, I was hoping somebody would comment down below with ideas on how to do things in this room, but so far the chat's been relatively quiet. Except for Boyd Aquatics. My boy Boyd. He's a family man out of Georgia. Awesome gentleman, always comments on my videos. Appreciate you, Boyd. All right, that's a wrap on that. Let them dry. We'll get a layer of epoxy on them. All right, we gotta take a little break to go retrieve my kiddos from school. So, let's do that real quick. Get back to the tank, keep building. Sorry about the TV. Donut operator, if you ever see one of my videos, you're the man, bro. Love watching your channel. All right, guys, we're back. We're gonna start water testing right now. Lacey just ran back to turn on the water. I have, let me show you guys. I have a hose in the water right here. Hose in the tank right here. And we're gonna start spewing some water. We're gonna take the water level all the way up to the glass, and then we'll see what happens. All right, guys, here comes the water. Had to go fix the hose real fast because I had it attached to my sprinkler system. But there it goes. Our first look at the tank getting some water. Filling it up. All right, I'm gonna throw you guys on a tripod, do a little time lapse, bring you back once we get to that bottom level of the glass. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and move the camera because I doubt you guys can see what I'm doing. So why don't we bring y'all down here? All right, can you see me? Can you see what I'm working on here? Okay, so like I said, coupler that attaches via threads onto the top. It's gonna go on there nice and tight. Thank you. Next, got our pipe cleaner and our glue. And we're gonna throw on a few gloves for this because stuff gets messy. I guess I could move you all up so I can put my face in there. Okay. So like I said, coupler's attached. We're gonna take a little bit of cleaner. We're gonna hit the inside of our pipe with the cleaner. Make sure we're nice and clean. We're also gonna hit the outside of our pipe with said cleaner. Now I went with black pipe simply because they say PVC pipe, especially white, grows quite a bit of algae. And we want to keep that out as much as possible because we're not going to be running a UV filter. So, let's get our glue unglued. And I always like to do both ends of this. So we'll do a little inside here. Another little dab right there around our pipe. Then we'll secure our pipe to our coupler like so. And this glue works so freaking fast. It almost starts drying on you instantly, so you gotta be quick. Not too quick, but quick enough. All right, so now that's gonna dry. So now we need another coupler like this to add to the top to make the whole thing tall enough to be able to submerge itself into the tank, which so far is filling up quite a bit. It's almost hard to tell where the water line is even at. Hold on, let's take a quick minute to look where we're at. Lace, kill that water for a second. I want to have a look at some stuff. So, here's where we are. And my curiosity is, well, actually, I'm going to end that. All right, I was just checking the water level to see where we're at. We're almost to the base of the glass, so we're going to pause right there for a second. We're going to get this coupler cleaned up. I'm gonna get us some. Oh. My kids are outside playing on the trampoline, messing around. It is a freaking beautiful evening in Colorado. holding it down because I don't know why. If it's like the thermal expansion of the glue reacting with the air, but it forces the pipe out of position, pushes it up. It's really weird. But for just a few seconds, you hold it down and you'll be good to go. So the inside of that one is already cleaned up. Let's get the outside of this one cleaned up. This one will be going right on top of that one. So this one just requires this to be cleaned. Then we gotta get a little bit of glue on this guy. And then some glue in here. And then just like that. We're gonna do that. And for the record, probably want to wear a mask because I can't breathe for shit right now. Woo! My eyes are on fire. That kind of sucks. But if you're wondering, I pre-measured, and I'll explain once we get this glued together what my thought process is here. And what ultimately will end up being our evacuation pump and our filtration pump all in one. There's a few things we still need to add to this pump. Like a sponge and a few other things that I just like to make sure are all in order before we submerge it. So that's going to take care of that. Now, the way this thing is going to sit in the water, I think, will be like this. Having children. Alrighty, the pipe is set. That far anyways. Dang it, I think I screwed something up. No. Tape measure, tape measure. I need a tape measure. Is there a tape measure out there? Okay. So, I don't know why my memory, I thought I did that differently in my head, but I didn't. So I think this is going to sit just like this inside of there. So I think we're gonna do a T that can shoot water directly outside the shed if we need it to, because I kind of want to build a garden over there that this water can then provide for. Be able to cut a 1-inch hole through the wall. All right, I'll be right back. I need to go look and see if I have a 1-inch hole saw. Okay, we're back. I had to put together a hole saw to stay right outside so it doesn't stink too bad for you for the moment. This fitting though, I don't want to glue it just yet, because I think we need to submerge this, make sure that all my eyeballing skills aren't deceiving me. Probably need glasses. I'm over here eyeballing stuff. Magic measurements. God dang. Alright. So we gotta make sure this guy stays out the tank. And this guy can go into the tank. Ooh. Oh, I love that sound. Okay. That cutting my hand off. Okay, we just rattled everything loose. Busted the pump open. Okay, but now we're cooking with stuff. Lace, is that like extension arm thingy grabber in here? Do you see it back there? Maybe by where the broom usually goes. So then I want to take this and just see. Oh man, it's gonna be so close. Mark something. Would you give me a pencil? I don't think there's one in here. Oh, did you see one? That's good enough. I just need something to mark it because I need to slide this kind of out of the way for a second. Okay, now go outside and see if you could feel me tapping on the wall. Okie dokie. So. Okay, let's. Okay, good job. So this hole saw is missing like literally all its teeth. Might have seen better days, so. Babe, you were done out there, baby. So now that'll go there. This will go here. Well, it's not going to stick out that. We'll trim it eventually. Huh?
The hole.
Yeah, I know. That's going to get filled in with a little bit of expanding foam. That's why I saved that last can. But I need that extendo thing to put the pump back together. Or I guess it don't really matter for now. Let's get this part done so we can test it. So. First things first is this got to come out. Hold that. And this got to come off. All right. So we need to clean it. And because we got it right here, we're just going to go ahead and clean all three sides. My wife's afraid of the camera.
No, it just stinks.
Oh, it does. It does.
But
stink.
I think I have to give this to you, so.
It does stink pretty bad. Yeah, so we're gonna go like that. And we're gonna go like this. Now, I know I'm using a lot of chemicals inside the tank. So, you know, I'm obviously gonna do several water changes and I'll be testing the water to confirm that we're not having any contaminants in it. So, that's a concern. You should not be so concerned. Okay, so we're good there. Sounds like we got a storm on the way. So this pipe needs cleaned. All right, guys, sorry. I lost a little bit of footage. We got it assembled. We got the shutoff valve placed on top. And I'll show you everything here in a second. I had to switch to storage because the internal memory was full, so we had to switch over to the SD card. But we got it all put together. We just wanted to give it a minute to let the glue set, and then we're gonna give her hell. So I'm gonna give my wife the camera. Slide, lift it. Yeah, slide, there you go. She's gonna go out back to where that pipe is exposed, and we're gonna run a test. You ready? Holy shit. Damn! Oh, that thing. Oh, man. Okay. That thing has some freaking power.
I definitely think you should get it stabilized.
Yeah, it was like blah, 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 blah.
All of that water is not going to be good for that.
Yeah, holy schmoly. Okay, so let's get back to it. If you want to turn on that water, let's continue filling up the tank and see what happens. See, this shutoff valve will be on that 1-inch pipe sticking out of the house to, you know, turn off that pipe. Who knows? I might still cut it off and put it right there. I don't know. But I do feel confident in our ability now to evacuate a shit ton of water in a short amount of time.
Yeah.
That thing looked like a fire hose. And it didn't blow apart any of our glue. Like I said, the PVC glue usually dries pretty quick. So no issues there. And keep in mind too, when we evacuate the water out that 1-inch pipe, it's being reduced, you know what I mean? So it's 4,500 gallons per hour being shot through what should be a 2-inch pipe reduced to a 1-inch pipe. So that's why you see so much velocity coming out of the backside of that pipe and it wanting to jerk away from the wall. But whatever, that's fine. Too much power is better than not enough. But we are reaching the glass. So might have to get in there to put the pump back together though. So far I have not seen any air bubbles, so.
A few moments later.
Ooh, spooky. All right, bad news. Test number 1 failed epically. Oh, there we go, kind of light. It's so bright. So what we did, we drained out the tank. Obviously, thank God we installed that freaking pump over there, which worked great to evacuate the water, by the way. But we had a tiny little leak right here. It's hard to see, but right where the middle of the light is, there was some water seeping out right there. You can see where it's a little wet. So yeah, we're gonna fix it. So I'll see you guys first thing in the morning. Bye-bye. See you later. All right, what's up, guys? We're gonna take a little break before we get back to working on the shed. Obviously, you guys seen that the first attempt failed and we had a little bit of a leak. We have a game plan. We're going to seal it up a little bit better where I had installed the bracing for the glass. So before we do that though, we're back in the fish room, the OG fish room. Need to check out Frank the Tank, and we're gonna do a little bit of live feeding today. So Frank the Tank loves his goldfish. Let's see if we can get Frank to come out. Come on, Frank, you want some goldfish? He's like, yeah, not your finger. Oh, actually, hold on. We're gonna feed Frank in a minute. I forgot. I grabbed the rosies first, so we're gonna come over here. We're gonna hook Earl up with some live fish. Gonna come around the other side so you can see. All right, there's. See if Earl's interested. I'm gonna feed Earl a couple of these guys. Yep, there he goes. Oh, he had it. Yusuke don't play. Look at her, she's on the hunt. Everybody's like, what? What? Get you some. All right, Earl got one. I don't know if you got it on camera. He just smashed one.
Yeah.
Then over here, all of these guys are pretty hungry, so majority of these fish will go here. If I can get them out and in my hand, because they are super floppy all over the place. Some of these fish are just straight up hunters and they like to hunt.
Shirley isn't even.
Shirley hasn't seen one yet. Let's put one over here. Oh, there she goes. Shirley's on the move. Shirley loves her some rosies. She'll have 3 or 4 tails sticking out of her mouth here in a minute. And we're gonna feed Frank a couple goldfish. And as always, big shout out to Valley Pets. That's where I get all my feeder fish from. That's where all these goldfish and rosies came from. Let's make it a little brighter in here. Okay, same thing. Frank is probably starving. Not starving, but he's probably hungry. We're gonna get us just one goldfish. Get it in there. See if Frank's hungry. Oh, snatched him right up. Frank the tank. The beast, look at him. Just a pure hunter.
Psycho killer. Qu'est-ce que
Play with his food first. Spitting up scales, look at him. Alright guys, there's a little live action from the fish room. Hope you enjoyed the live fish feeding. Let's get back to the action. Fix our tank and get these guys upgraded. I couldn't help myself. When I was in here filming a second ago, I noticed the water looked pretty yellow. So if you watched previous videos, I recently had in this tank specifically a couple of fish that I had to pull, isolate, and treat to get ick removed from them. So for that reason, I'm a little paranoid. So we went ahead and did a water change. We're filling up the tank right now. That hose runs to my bathroom sink. I've shown previous videos. I have quick connects on the other side of this hose, so it just locks right into the faucet. Monitor the temperature here, but I do use a barbecue temperature thermometer right here to confirm that I'm at 79 degrees, and then I monitor right here to make sure. But as you can see previously, if you watched maybe 2 minutes ago in the video, this water was like yellow. It looked funky to me, so we went ahead and changed it out. Fish are happy. They're still our live feeder fish. Yeah, man, I'm kind of paranoid after last week, so we did a water change real quick, head into the shed as soon as this thing is full. Alright guys, we finally made it back into the shed. It is by no means morning. I lied. It's, we'll say mid-afternoon to be nice. But we're back. We've got our boards right here that are nice, stained, looking awesome. So we're gonna start laying this stuff out and getting this installed. Once we have to get into the tank to install this wood, once we get it placed where we want it, then we'll do the other waterproofing steps that we need to do to make sure that we're not leaking down there at the bottom anymore. So let's get right in to fixing this guy up. Missed. Okay, the next step is going to be pretty shitty. Alright guys, time to embrace the suck. We're inside the tank, if you can't tell, and you might be wondering how we're going to fix our little problem with the leak. We are going to just give it a little bit more silicone. I think it's got plenty of layers of epoxy, but there are a few spots where I drilled a hole to install that wood, and I think that's where our leaks are coming from. So we're going to fix those up and get unfortunately wet, but let's just knock it out. All right, what's up guys? So, ooh, cool. We went ahead and added just a little bit of color to our mix, and we also added in some, what was it, silver glitter, just to give it a weird cool stain that will now cover over this dark stuff. So we're just going to start right here, get an idea. what it looks like. This is just going to be a really thin layer to waterproof this piece of wood, and that's the only goal here. We're not trying to cover every piece of it or make it completely, you know, even layered with epoxy. We just want it to be able to take splashes. But we definitely don't want to put so much epoxy on here that it starts to run off onto the floor or anything like that. So these will be really light brushed on layers that will have that glitter mixed in, which we'll see how that turns out. Yeah. May have been a bad idea, but we'll see. Man, there's a huge gap right there.
I know, I just saw that too. That's big.
Yeah, that's gonna have to be filled in with some caulking. Yeah. All right, guys, I'm gonna let you go right there. We'll pick up as soon as we get done with this layer of epoxy, and I think we're ready for water testing again. So, see you in a second. All right, guys, it's the next day. Everything is dry. It's time for round 2. See if we can't get this thing to hold some water. So what we did is we just threw a waterproofing layer on top of the epoxy. Drew epoxy on top of the wood. We did cut out a little bit of relief right here for our pipe because it was eyeballed a little low. Who would have thought? But yeah, overall, you can see we reinforced. Oh, hold on, I gotta put you guys upside down, but you guys can see how we reinforced with silicone all the way across the bottom there. There's our pump. Oh, let's get this done. Time lapse of water filling up starts now. Alright guys, I'm going to call it right there. I think we're going to need an episode 2 to get through this entire build. But thank you guys so much for watching. Please hit that subscribe button. Please share the video, like the video, drop a comment. Any suggestions are welcome, good or bad. See you on the next one. Part 2 coming out soon. Peace out. Bye-bye.